What's up, everybody? This is Podcast Gameoverse, episode 128, for Saturday, November 26, 2022. I am Wasabi Ice Cream, joined as always with my dude Rick. What's up?
Yo, what's up, everybody? It's Rick here. Nothing happened. Nothing's happened. It's been kind of a boring week, I'll be honest here. But, we still got some shit to talk about. Some games we've been playing, some games you've been playing. Let's start where we always start, man. Tell the people what you've been playing.
God of War Ragnarok.
Yes.
You know about this game? Oh, shit. Let me turn that down.
I've heard about it. I heard it's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, it's a pretty big deal.
All right, tell me what you think.
I think this game is fucking garbage, man. I'm gonna be honest. Okay, no, wait. Let me. The game is incredible. It's incredible. Or like, the game's not incredible. The experience is incredible.
Yeah.
The presentation is incredible.
Okay.
But the game that's there is fucking dog shit, man. Not dog shit, but like, fuck, man. Like, I don't understand. I really don't understand. I don't think this works on me anymore. This thing,
like third person cinematic, like
yeah. Because fucking, I absolutely love the cinematic shit, but again, it's another example of a game that I would just rather just watch this instead of playing it, because the part where you play it is the worst part.
Yeah, dude, that's the thing I've been saying for these types of games forever. Like, I fell out of it my new game plus playthrough of the first Last of Us. I remember, like, once like the charm of the story wore off, I was like, oh, this game is like actually not that great.
Yeah.
And Last of Us 2, I felt the same way. Like, I played through it, I loved it my first playthrough. Then I went back to try to replay it. I was like, oh wait, now that the story's over, I don't want to play this. The story tricked me into liking the game.
Yeah. And
now it seems like you're not falling for it anymore.
It's like, because I remember the first God of War very fondly, and it might have been because it might have been because of cinematic shit. When I think about it, I don't think of the actual gameplay parts.
Like the moment to moment gameplay stuff. You remember like the big cinematic moments?
Yeah. Like, that was the stuff that really stuck with me. And now I'm like remembering, like, that's what this fucking game is. It's just like that. And then you walk around for a little bit in these fucking like straight line, linear ass hallways. It does open up at some point, but dude, I've been playing for like 2.5, maybe 3 hours. It's just a straight fucking line while story happens. Like,
yep.
I was bored out of my fucking mind. And then I was like, and then when you do get to combat, it's just like, it was just not, I was getting like upset because like all the enemies were like, it just kept throwing enemies at me. And then they would just take so long to kill. I was like, I'm just not having fun with the combat either. So I was like, I'm just gonna set it to easy. Like I do when I'm not having fun with a game. I just set it to easy so I can just get the story, because the story is the good part. So I set it to easy, and I was like, yeah, let me just fucking get through this now. And I've never done that. I've never done that on a game so fresh. Like, it's always been something that's been out for a while where I'm like, this game's been out for a while. Let me just get the story so I can get through it and then move on to something else. But this is fucking fresh. And I'm like, I'm just going to set it to easy and get through it. And I was
Yep.
like, I felt like bad. I felt like, oh, this game's doing something wrong, man. Uh, but I like
It's not
can't.
your fault. Like you're not you've evolved past that illusion now. Like
Yeah,
you've evolved past the illusion that like shiny graphics, cool presentation means good game. Like you've evolved past that.
but that's the thing. So this game and like I also played like Horizon. Like earlier this year, I played the Horizon Forbidden West. Uh, it's the
Yeah.
same thing, but that game is like an open world thing, so it is more. It gives you more to do in terms of like the game aspect. But I was still like, this is not. I'm not having fun with this. I don't know like what's these like Sony fucking big high fidelity presentation shits are just not doing it for me anymore.
You need something that's like gameplay focus is what you need.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I prescribe the Devil May Cry series.
Yeah.
Take 2 cc's Devil May Cry, and then call me on Monday. See how you feel.
Well,
That's my
that's the
prescription.
thing. So like
But
I keep going back to Tunic. When I fucking played Tunic, dude,
okay,
I didn't have to like I would just so when I'm playing God of War, I keep looking at the time. I keep looking at okay, what time is it? And then noticing that oh, it's only been 20 minutes. It's only been 30 minutes because it feels like an eternity when I'm playing
hmm
this. I'm so fucking bored. When I'm playing Tunic, uh, I can't stop myself from playing. I gotta keep telling myself I gotta turn this off because it's 3 a.m. now and
yeah,
I've been playing this for way too long. Like that's how I know it's a good game because I just lose myself in it. Whereas this, I'm like, okay, what time is it? It's only been 30 minutes. Fuck, type shit. Like it's uh,
yeah,
not to say that it's bad, but it's just like it just feels like it's dragging, and I'm not fucking getting anything.
yeah.
Even
It's not
though,
for you anymore. Like,
yeah, but like it's the story. It because I absolutely love the story. I love the presentation. I love like I'm playing it for the story, but the problem
yeah,
is there's a video game here that I don't want to play in between the story, and that's like the problem. Uh, yeah. So like again, like I would rather watch it. It would make a better fucking movie. Just make a movie out of this, and I would watch it. It would be great.
yeah. No, I hear you, man. Like that's. I think that's like I've been falling out of love with that, like too, and I've been noticing it myself. Like I'm getting bored with games that like people keep telling me are great. And I'll admit, the first God of War, like the combat was pretty solid, despite like my gripes with the camera.
Yeah.
And I did like the combat, but I just like stopped playing it when like I had better, more combat games that did combat better, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I keep telling myself I'm gonna get back to it, I'm gonna get back to it, I'm gonna get back to it, but I never do. And I get it. You're not being tricked by the AAA presentation anymore. Like that's what it is.
Yeah.
Like all these AAA games are like, what's that term? Like wide as an ocean, like deep as a puddle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it has this presentation of like depth and enrichment, but then when you actually get to it, the actual gameplay is like lacking that.
So yeah, let me actually just like talk about the game though. It's
Yeah.
so um it takes place right like literally right after I think maybe not right after no yeah like right after the first game.
Oh yeah,
I mean it's like I guess a few years later because like Atreus is a little
he's a big
older,
boy.
but
He's a big boy now.
yeah yeah or bigger I guess, but uh in between that, he's like Atreus has been like going behind Kratos' back, like looking for answers about his past or his history, and that's where like this game is going. It's like, okay, this is like Atreus' story now, and Kratos is like, the boy should not be looking for answers, but I'm going to entertain him because I don't want him to hate me, type shit. So, um, but it pisses off the gods because then like you like there's like the first like 30 minutes like you just run into everyone like fucking Thor comes out, Odin comes out, fucking they're like, hey, we know what you're doing, boy, stop it. We'll make you a deal. If you stop, then we'll stop fucking with you. But if you continue, then and then they don't take the deal, and then they go searching for Atreus's like history. So that's basically what the game is like about, is just searching for answers. And like I don't know, but like even then I'm just talking about the story because that's all it is. It's just a fucking story. Uh, and then in between there's some combat,
Yeah.
and like there's some puzzle solving too, which I people were like talking about how like the puzzles, you get to a puzzle and then whoever is like with you would be like, they'll like solve the puzzle for you before you even get a chance to look around or even explore shit. And be like, hey, maybe you should try freezing this thing here and see what that does, or maybe you should look up, or like shit like that. They're quick to tell you what the solution is
And the
before you
game is
even
like
get to.
afraid to like let you like try to solve it.
Yeah, yeah. So I will say in the couple puzzles that I've done, they've it's been okay. It's been like fine, because there has been stuff that I just wasn't seeing, and
Yeah.
they don't tell you everything outright. They'll be like, "Huh, maybe you can freeze. You get a new freeze power. Not a freeze power. You get like is it a hot power? You get a hot power and you get a cold power. So, I think you already had those in the first game though. Once you get like the blades of chaos, they you can make shit hot, and then your like axe makes shit cold. Um, and then they use those to kind of do some like light puzzle solving type shit. Um, yeah, I don't know. The game's
Well, how is the story so far? Is it at least like worth putting up with the game at least, or
yes, but the story's phenomenal. The story is
yeah,
absolutely fucking phenomenal, dude. Uh, but like the combat's not. So I set it to easy because like it throws these fucking guys at you, and that was the thing. So all the enemies have like this hot, cold thing. They have this like ice thing, or this
uh,
hot thing. So you have to constantly switch between your like blades and your axe because it's all like elemental shit.
yeah,
And I don't know. I found it annoying. I found it like I get. I don't like juggling shit when it's like, okay, now you've already gave me too
yeah,
much like bullshit to like juggle around with,
yeah.
and
That's
now
why you didn't like Doom.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So um they're like all the enemies are like kind of real spongy. They're real spongy. I was playing on normal too, and the enemies are just real spongy. It just wasn't. I don't know. It was a lot right off the bat for me. I think. I don't know. Maybe other people
Yeah,
feel like different, but um, it was a lot for me. So I was like, I just turned it to easy. I was like, you guys are too spongy because I just want to get through it, but it demands of you that you like, yeah, switch to your ice, switch to your fire, switch to your ice again. And then, this guy's a range guy, so you gotta like do these perfect parries. You get a shield, and if you perfect parry, it'll reflect ranged attacks back at whoever sent it. Um,
yeah.
it's a lot. So I was like, I just want to get through this. Uh, yeah, I don't know. The combat's okay. but
Serviceable.
it's like it doesn't hold this thing up until you get to like a boss fight, and then the boss fights are more um entertaining, I guess, because you can like focus on getting your shit right, you know, getting your parries off and then getting your dodges off.
Yeah.
Um, some attacks are unblockable, so like you have to like watch for, you know, the red glow comes out. You're like, okay, I gotta dodge this, or the yellow glow comes out. Okay, I have to perfect parry this. Um, but like the normal enemies are not fun to fight. So
It's such a bummer. Like,
I don't know. I haven't seen any other reviews of this game, or I don't really know how people feel, people actually feel about this game, because it just fucking came out, you know, like a week before like the Game
it's a,
Awards and
I was gonna
nominees
say it's a
shit came
game of
out.
the year contender.
Yeah, and it's
So
already nominated for every game of the year, and so you play it and you're like, I don't. It's like they nominated this shit knowing already that people were gonna be like, yeah, this is game of the year, but no one actually played it, so I don't know, man. Like it presents itself very well cinematically. Like the presentation is very high, but the game that's here, I just don't think. I don't think it's a very compelling video game. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So
no, I hear you, man. Like that's why like I've been feeling this like AAA fatigue for a while now, and I'm starting to see it like in myself. And I get exactly where you're coming from with this, because like like what is there really to like keep you going, you know, like after the story, you know, when the allure of the story's over, like what is there really to keep you playing?
yeah,
And it's a bummer. Like it's probably gonna win game of the year. It's like, you know, it just came out, it's a new hot thing. That's what everyone's been excited for. And I don't think there's enough time between now and the actual Game of the Year awards for people to like look at it critically.
yeah.
And it's
But that's
probably gonna win Game of the Year. Let's be honest here. I'll be
I
surprised if
I
Tunic wins.
well
But
well, that's why like Elden Ring is in there, and that's a game that came out at the beginning of the year. People are still talking about it. Like it's had some time to like sit with people, and people really marinated on it, and I think it's still, and that's a game that's just straight fucking gameplay, and
that's true.
it's and I like it for that, even though I'm not good at it. I can appreciate like the game that's there is a fucking video game.
Yeah.
Uh, it doesn't have to like hide in its presentation to for people to talk about it. So uh, it's a bummer. So like I got this game last week, a week ago, Saturday. Streamed it for like 3 hours, and I haven't touched it since, dude. I haven't even looked at it. I'm serious. I played it like for 3 hours then, and I haven't touched it at all since. So, uh, yeah, like I need to go back to it and just like push through it, but it feels like a chore. So
Well, keep me updated on what you think of it. Maybe it'll like, turn itself around later. I doubt it, but
yeah,
maybe it'll turn itself around. Anything else you been playing you want to talk about?
I loaded up Pentiment last night
Oh, I heard about
because
that. How was it?
that's a game everyone's also talking about. That game came out, I guess, like a couple days ago or like a
Yeah,
week ago, and uh, man, I want to say maybe this game's just it's not for me, you know. I
okay.
can I can I can appreciate what this game's doing, but I played it. I don't know. I maybe gave it like an hour. What's up, fellas? What's up? Red is back in the chat, or Real is back in the chat. What's up?
What up?
Uh, in the chat, just like you can be if you go to gameoverse.com/discord. Um, yeah, I loaded this up. So what is this game? It's a game that it's a dialogue. It's one of those like dialogue like
Entry games.
yeah. People compare it to Disco Elysium a lot,
Okay.
but one of the things that Disco Elysium did, or like Night in the Woods, is another one. It's like a mix between those two games. I think Night in
Yeah.
the Woods, if you never played, is like the same thing. Um, the thing is, there's no it's like a period piece. It takes place in like the 16th century, uh, whereas like this like 16th century like Europe. I think it's like a made up city that's supposed to take place in like Germany, maybe I think. Um, and it's like in the midst of like the the rise of like uh Christianity. I'm not a like history buff by any means,
Yeah.
so I just I don't for me I don't understand all the like the paganism stuff and the Christianity stuff and like where Europe was in this like place in history. It's very like focused on like the church and just like shit that was happening in Europe around like the 15th, 16th century.
Yeah.
It's a lot. They throw a lot of names at you. One of the cool things is um, I'm showing a little gameplay here right now. Whenever someone mentions like a name, like a historical figure or something from like a mythological figure, like a goddess or a deity, or a name for of someone that's in the game or whatever, you can hit the select button and it'll zoom out and go, "Hey, they mentioned this name. Here's what that is."
Oh, that's cool.
Um, or they'll show you like a little portrait of the character they're talking about, so that when you run into that person, you know who they're talking about because they throw a lot of names at you. They throw a lot of historical figures at you, like Cicero and Copernicus and
Yeah.
Aristotle and all these fucking. And if you don't know shit about shit, you're gonna have all these names thrown at you, and you're like, I don't know what the fuck. At least for me, I'm like, I don't know what they're talking about, man. And
But like, do you need to though to like really get the game? Like,
I'm gonna say yes.
yeah,
I mean, not really, not maybe not, but there comes a point where like they're just talking about shit, and I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about, man. Uh, at the same time, it's a very dialogue heavy game. There's no voice acting, so you're really just reading a lot of shit, and you're asked to make choices on things that impact your character. Like, um, your character, his name is like Andres. He's like a traveling artist who's like working on his masterpiece, and within his travels, he has this backstory that lays out where he is now. So people ask you, "Oh, you went to university. What did you study?" And then you have all these options that, "Oh, I studied medicine, or I studied astrology," and like maybe you don't have to know like all of this shit, but I think it definitely helps if you know what the fuck they're talking about when it comes to uh like they bring out like Martin Luther and his like teachings against the ways of the like Christianity or the
what is it, the
church
church?
at the
Yeah,
time. So when this stuff comes up, I'm like, oh, I don't know anything about that.
yeah.
But they're gonna they ask you questions about that, and you're like, oh, I don't fucking know. I don't know. Uh, so
Yeah.
um, And then within that, so if we get past all that, uh, I played maybe an hour last night, and I fucking like it's a very slow burn of a game. I kept trying to like push through, like, okay, there's I'm gonna get to like the point where like it turns, because there's gonna be a turning point where like the you know an issue is raised. There's gonna be a problem, and then that's gonna be what the game is about. Because at
Yeah.
this point, like, I have no idea what the like the problem is. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the main?
The conflict,
Yeah, what's the
the
conflict
driving
here?
force.
Yeah. And I haven't gotten to it in like an hour of playing, and I was like, I'm really not. I'm gonna try to put more time into this,
Yeah.
but because like yeah, because maybe you don't need to know, like, once the shit actually starts, maybe you don't need to be like a history buff to actually, once the game starts, maybe you don't need to know anything. So that's what I was trying to get to, but it's a slow burn, man. So
Yeah.
um yeah, it's a slow burn. So that's what I'll say about it. Other than that, like, the art style's like pretty charming. Um, it looks like it's all hand drawn, which is cool. And then the music's like dope. It's all like period accurate stuff.
Yeah, that's one thing
And
that got me really excited for it, is that like the music and the presentation was all like
yeah,
early like Renaissance or like Middle Ages, which looked really cool. I like that art style.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, I don't know how well it's gonna hold up for like an entire game, but it looked cool.
yeah. If you're a history buff, if you love this like time period, this game is for you. It seems like, but for me, who knows like nothing about the
Yeah, for
period.
all of us who got like a C in history, like
Yeah, um, it's just not. Yeah, it just doesn't. It's not doing it for me yet. But I'm trying to give it. I'm trying to give it a chance to actually get its story started, and then
yeah.
see what happens from there. So, because yeah,
At least you're
because
like giving it a chance. Like you can't say you didn't give it a chance. Like
yeah, well, because I know like games like this, they'll start. They have to have a little bit of setup before a thing happens. Like, that's what I know. Like, a story has to have a thing happen, and that thing is the driving force for the rest of the story. So I don't think the thing has happened yet, though they're getting there. It seems like they're getting there. Um, I got to the Abbey, and then like Father what's his face was like, "Oh, I didn't expect you so soon." And I'd stop there, because then it started to my character's backstory. I made him like a thief and a rapscallion. So
yeah,
I was like, this will be entertaining at least, because I'll be able to steal shit and fight people, and that'll be entertaining. Uh, so that hasn't manifested yet, but I have to get money. So one of my options is like stealing money from the church. So
Jesus.
I had just gotten to like that point, and then I had to stop. But so I'm gonna play more of this though, because it's interesting. It's interesting, even though I don't understand anything. Um, but like every time one of those like encyclopedia things come up, I do like stop to look at it and like read what it is, even if I don't totally understand it. I'm like, I get a little bit of
Yeah, I mean, just
context.
because like you don't understand the like inner politics of the church, I mean,
Yeah,
I don't think that means you wouldn't be able to enjoy the game. I
yeah,
don't know,
yeah,
maybe.
yeah. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's Pentiment. It's on Game Pass, so that's
Yeah, I
why
was
I
gonna
just
say it doesn't
yeah,
cost anything to try it.
yeah, I just loaded it up because people were talking very favorably about this, nines and tens, like,
Yeah,
from like most outlets. So I'm like, okay, this could be the game that's like low key, like you can't judge it by its cover type shit.
yeah.
So, but yeah, so
Did you
that's
play Pokemon Infinite? I know you're gonna try to
I didn't play it last night. I went into this instead of that, but I've got it. Yeah, you're supposed to just sit there and wait for like 20 minutes while it loads.
not that long, but
Not that
yeah, yeah.
long, but it feels like an eternity. Um, no, I had it
Those of you who
loaded
don't
up.
know, like last week I talked about this Pokemon fan game that's got a system where you can like fuse Pokemon, and it's fucking awesome. And I was gushing about how great the system is, but what I forgot to mention is that when you boot it up, it takes a minute to load. Like if you see a black screen when you start it, that's normal because there's so many sprites in it from all the fusion possibilities that it legit like takes like a couple minutes for it to load. You'll
Yeah,
just see a black screen. I wish it just said loading or something on it,
yeah. Or
but yeah,
like,
the same thing happened to me when I first booted it up, and I was like, I'm having trouble with this, and I was going through like the frequently asked questions page on their site, and it's like, oh, if you see a black screen, that's normal. It's
yeah,
just we have like 100,000 sprites, so it takes a minute for it to load. And I was like, oh fuck, okay, well that makes sense. I don't think
yeah.
RPG Maker was built to like handle that much like sprite work.
But I wish it like cached some of that shit because after like I can accept it doing it the first time, but it does it every time.
Every time you boot up, yeah, it takes a
So
minute.
yeah, no, I loaded it up yesterday. My problem was uh, the controls in oh no,
The
controls.
controls are bullshit when you start it up. Like you got to fuck around with the controls a lot.
Yeah, no, it works now.
Uh,
It
yeah, I
works
kind of
now.
mentioned like in my like when I talked about it last week that the game's fun, but you got to deal with some RPG Maker jank. But it's
Yeah.
worth the jank. It's definitely worth the jank. But it's a good game. Like, give it a shot. I think it's fun. Um, any other games you want to talk about?
No, that was all I played. So
Yeah, I haven't really played much. I'm playing Pokemon Scarlet right now. That's still pretty fun.
yeah,
I haven't got to any of like the really stupid glitches people have been talking about, so like I haven't seen anything like that yet. So I know people have been seeing like some crazy shit, like limbs like elongating, like your the Pokemon you're riding like disappearing or falling through the geometry. I haven't noticed anything like that yet, so I don't know like
yeah.
what's going on with those people because I haven't seen that.
Oh,
Um,
one of the things I didn't mention about Pentiment is that it has a big head mode. It has a head size slider.
oh yeah,
Yeah, which is pretty fun. But
oh, that's some
yeah,
shit I missed, dude. I haven't seen that in a minute.
yeah. That was the other things I wanted to ask about Pokemon is that yeah, it has like glitches and shit, but is the game at least fun? You know, is it at least like a good Pokemon game? Is the game that's
Glad
there?
you asked.
Yeah.
So I like the open world stuff. Is it fully realized? I don't think so. The game doesn't exactly make it clear like what you should and shouldn't do yet, other than having like levels. But the game doesn't scale with you. So I've beaten bosses I wasn't supposed to fight yet. And then when I go back to finish some other ones that I was supposed to fight earlier, the levels haven't scaled, so they're like way weaker
Oh,
than I needed them to be.
wait, can you do any gym in any order?
Yes, you can,
Oh,
but the levels don't scale. So if you go to
yeah.
like a gym that's like end game first, the levels will be like end game levels. But the game like lets you level up pretty quickly, so I don't really mind it. I shouldn't. Okay, let me rephrase that. Let me backtrack on that. It lets you. It does the modern day Pokemon thing where your whole team levels up with you. Which initially I was like, oh, that's too easy. It makes it easy. Blah, 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 blah. But with how many Pokemon there are and the challenges the game throws at you with like you need a specific like type of Pokemon to take on a gym or like a specific like Titan Pokemon or like what's the other thing you can do? Like take on the gang hideouts. Like you're gonna be thankful that it lets you level up your whole team at once because it does save down a lot of busy work. Like people complain it makes Pokemon too easy, but it doesn't make it easier. Like the gym challenges are still there. It
Yeah.
just makes grinding less tedious. And I can get behind that. And with this game, I feel like the stuff that's there is really good. Like the new gimmick this game is I can't remember how to pronounce it. I think it's like terrestrializing. And what it basically does that it makes your Pokemon like a gem, right? But the gimmick is that it also changes Pokemon's type to that specific gem type that you have selected. Now, by default, it's always going to be a type your Pokemon already has. So if you have like a fire type Pokemon, its Terra type is going to be a fire type. But what's cool is that with Terra typing, later in the game, you can change the Terra type of the Pokemon to whatever type you want. And those of you who don't know, Pokemon has a cool little mechanic hidden under the hood called a stab or a same type attack bonus. Now, what that is, it's basically a hidden value that if your Pokemon uses a move as the same type of it, it gets a 50% damage boost. So a fire attack done by a fire type will do 50% more damage than that same attack by another Pokemon that's a different type. All right, you with me on that so far?
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay, so yeah, so when you Terra type, you still get your stab from whatever type you had before, but you get another 50% on top of that. So if you're a fire type Pokemon, you get 50% from your stab. And if you Terra type and you terraform into a fire type again, you get another 50% on top of that. So your fire attacks do double damage now. Are you with me on that?
Not entirely, but
Okay,
go
so
on.
you get a 1.5 times bonus when you're a fire type, if you use a fire type attack. If you use the game's terrestrialized system,
Wait.
and
How can you not be of fire type and use a fire attack?
you can learn moves that aren't of your Pokemon's type. Your Pokemon can learn moves that aren't its type. Like
But
Pokemon have a set moves they could learn. Some of
yeah.
them you can learn from like leveling up. Some of them you can learn from like TMs or HMs. Some of them you can learn from like breeding. But you can learn moves that aren't your type. It's not like impossible. Like Rhyhorn can learn Thunderbolt.
But isn't okay.
It's just
Well,
those attacks are more powerful if it's the same type using it.
okay. I always figured that they would be like, oh yeah, well yeah. I guess one of like the big things like Pikachu using Surf. I guess is like a
Yeah, and like
yeah
Hitmonchan, the punching Pokemon can learn like Fire Punch, so like it's not too out of the ordinary.
yeah. Okay.
But it's not gonna do the same damage as like a fire type using Fire Punch. So
Yeah.
what's cool is that when you Terra type, you still get your stab from the types that you started with. So let's say you're like a dual type, like a fire dark type, but your Terra type is fire. When you Terra type, you're gonna be strictly fire. You're gonna lose that dark type. You're gonna lose that dark typing, but you still get your stab for dark attacks. So all it really does is boost your fire attacks because you get that extra little 50% on top of it, and you lose your dark type disadvantages. So there's some strategy there with the Terra typing. And I didn't really think about it until like I fought a boss, right? That was a electric type boss. Now, those of you who don't know, electric types are weak to ground attacks. So I got a couple ground Pokemon. I'm like, okay, these are gonna be like my Pokemon I take out for this gym. And I fought their Pokemon. It was pretty easy, but then I get to their last Pokemon. It's a flying type Pokemon. Or no, sorry, it's a ghost type Pokemon. And I'm like, okay, it's gonna Terra type into electric, and then I'll be able to fuck them up once it Terra types. It Terra types, it's electric, so I'm like, cool, I'm gonna use a ground attack. It doesn't work because the Pokemon is a ghost type and it has an ability called Levitate where ground attacks don't affect it.
Ooh.
So now the only type that's super effective against it doesn't work anymore. And I was like, oh, that's really clever. There's some cool shit you can do here now. And then once I saw that, that's when I started seeing like, okay, there's some potential now with this Terra typing system. Like you can have abilities your Pokemon didn't have and change its type to like minimize a weakness, increase its strength, or do what that guy did. It's now ground attacks, like one of the abilities that's super effective against it, don't work anymore. So I was like, okay, I can see the potential now. I haven't really had a chance to fuck around with it because you can't change your Pokemon's Terra type until later, and I just beat the gym that lets me do that. It needs this resource I need to gather like a fuck ton of. but it's pretty cool, like the way it works. I can see the potential for it now. And as a Pokemon game, it's solid. Like it's still Pokemon. Like Pokemon's one of these games that's as deep as you want it to be. So all the stuff I talked about, stabs, like those are the game doesn't really tell you a lot about that. It's up to you to like kind of play around with it and figure it out. So that's what I like about Pokemon. The game's as deep as you want it to be, and there's some depth to like how you can create your team, customize your stats and abilities, and it's all still there. Just because it's open world doesn't like take away from it. And the open world stuff is cool because it kind of lets me explore the game however I want. I play and I'm like, oh, that looks cool. What is that? And I go and figure it out, and I discover like a Terra raid or like some like cool little treasure chest I didn't see earlier. Like it's fun. I think going open world is the best thing Pokemon could have done. Is it perfect? No. Like I bitched a lot about this in the last podcast. Like the performance is bad. I haven't experienced any major glitches like I've been seeing on Twitter, but the performance is definitely rough. And the game needs, I think it needs monolith software to go through it, to be honest, to kind of show Game Freak how to make an open world game run well on Switch.
Yeah.
But the actual gameplay stuff, the Pokemon stuff is fun. Like it's there. And at first I thought this Terra typing stuff was a gimmick. Now that I saw what that gym did, it completely caught me off guard. I was like, okay, I could see like if that's just what the game is doing, there's some potential there. And it's not like the game tells you like, oh, you could use Terra typing on a ghost type with levitate so you don't get hit by ground attacks anymore. But it didn't have to tell me that because I saw it happen. Like because the game doesn't want you to worry about that. At the end of the day, it's a kid's game. It doesn't want kids to worry about like stabs, IVs, EVs. It doesn't want kids to worry about that.
That's one of the
But
things about Nintendo games that I like is that they're at the surface they seem pretty simple, but they always have systems in there that if you want to get deep in it, you can really like get into some systems. Like it's the same thing like Splatoon. Splatoon is like seems like very simple at first, but there's systems in there that if you really get deep into it, you can get pretty complex.
oh yeah, dude. And Pokemon's the same way. Like there's a reason why like the competitive scene for Pokemon is like so hardcore because these systems facilitate it. You don't need it to beat the game at all, but it's more fun if you do it. And I'm noticing that with this game, that's still there. Like if you like that stuff in Pokemon, it's still there. It hasn't gone away. Just because it's open world doesn't take away from it. And the game actually throws some shit at you pretty early on. Like the game has oh god, I don't know how to do this without opening up a rabbit hole, but there's a value in the game called EVs, effort values. When you fight a specific type of Pokemon, you get points you get these EVs. After a certain threshold of EVs, it affects one of your stats. So, for example, you could fight like a Geodude. It gives you a defense EV. After like I think 10 EVs, it counts to 1 point of your defense. So if you're specifically EV training a Pokemon, you can make your Pokemon, you can basically cover your Pokemon weaknesses or increase its strengths, whatever you want. That's why EV type training is so important to your Pokemon's development. That's why Pokemon raised from level 1 to 100 with rare candies isn't going to be as strong as a Pokemon that was actually taken out to battle. Now, there's ways to supplement that actually battle. You could find like medicine to give to your Pokemon that increases those stats and gives them those EVs. You can also find these feathers that do that too. The game gives you these feathers pretty early on. It gives you this medicine pretty early on. And it even gives you like special like items you can equip that lower your Pokemon speed but increases the value that you want to level up. And most of that stuff is usually relegated to like end game of Pokemon, but I found that stuff early on just traveling the world. So the stuff that the end game stuff, the big competitive players want to get into, is already being supplemented from the beginning of the game, I've noticed. So there's some depth there. And that's the thing people aren't talking about. Like, well, is it a good Pokemon game? Everyone's talking about the performance, the graphics, which is fine. It's a valid thing to critique. But at the end of the day, is it a fun Pokemon game? And I say it is.
Yeah.
And that's something people aren't talking about as a longtime Pokemon player. Um,
Real is back
Now,
in the chat is
yeah,
asking
what up?
if it's better than Legends Arceus.
I never played Legends Arceus, so I
Yeah,
can't answer that.
I
But
played that. It's they're different games. They're
yeah,
very different games
yeah,
because
Legends Arceus is like a spin-off, right? It's not like a Pokemon game. Like there's no like gym battles,
yeah,
there's none of that Pokemon stuff that like you're into,
yeah,
which is fine if that's what you want to play, but they're different games. And that's kind of the vibe I'm getting here. Um, there's some stuff I was noticing in this that I saw on Legends Arceus that like I can sneak up behind Pokemon, and if I sneak up behind a Pokemon before I fight it, all Pokemon pop up in the overworld. So they're not like it's not random fights in tall grass anymore. We've evolved past that. But what's cool is that if I sneak up on a Pokemon and I throw my Pokeball at it, it can trigger like a surprise attack, quote unquote. I say in like parentheses, and I get a free turn at the start of the fight with it, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it could mean a lot to like catching a Pokemon more easily. Or if it's a Pokemon that's like a higher level than you, it means like a free shot on that turn, so you can take it out in one hit if you have the right type advantage and get a ton of XP. And there's also a system I can kind of let my Pokemon just run around, do whatever they want on their own. And there's a incentive to do that because they're still getting experience points without me actually having to participate in the fight. So there's some cool shit there that like takes advantage of this open world aspect of it. Is it perfect? No, I don't think all the parts like jive really well together, but it's doing what it's supposed to do for the most part, and it's fun to play through. Again, the jank is there. I'm not going to pretend it's not. There is quite a bit of jank there, and a lot of the reviews are right on that. But it's still a fun game to play. I'm still having fun with it. I like the start of this game more than I like the beginning of Sword and Shield. I made a lot of complaints about Sword and Shield when it first started. I thought Sword and Shield wasn't worth the price until if you can get the base game and the DLC for Sword and Shield for like less than $60, I think it's worth it then. But me playing this, I feel like it's a $60 game. Like it feels like it's worth a $60 asking price.
nice.
Um, Again, the performance is like hilarious sometimes with what it's having trouble doing, but I'm having fun with it as a Pokemon fan. The new Pokemon that are there are pretty cool. Again, the game's like terrasterizing gimmick is pretty solid. I like it. Is it as cool as Mega Evolutions? I don't think so, but it definitely gives you more customization to your team. Which, if you're the kind of person who likes like freedom of expression in your games, like this probably has like the best way to do it with its terrasterizing system. You can literally change your Pokemon's type. Like, come on, like that's what more can you customize here? Um, and I'm having fun with it. If you like Pokemon, it's a fun game. I think if you're already a Pokemon fan, if you're like kind of burnt out of it or you fell out of it, I think it depends on when you fell out of Pokemon if this is worth playing again. But I'm having fun with it. I play Pokemon like every year that they release a new game. I somehow manage to like play the game that they've released, and I'm having fun with this one so far. It's not going to change your opinion if you're already bored of it, but I think it's a fun game, honestly. I haven't been playing too much outside of that lately. I've been playing a lot of Gunfire. I'm still having fun with Gunfire, dude. Like, I'm fucking playing it right now. It's a great game. Um, I'm trying to beat Nightmare Mode right now, which is fucking hard. I think I need a team to do it, but the game's online matchmaking is garbage. So if I do manage to find a game of people to play Nightmare Mode with, it doesn't last long. Like I've had games like drop in the middle of like a run that was going really well. So I think I just need to get like some dedicated friends to play this with if I want to like make any progress on it. But the game's a lot of fun. Like I've talked about it to death. It's such a fun game. If you like Borderlands, I think you'll like Gunfire because it's a lot like Borderlands, but instead of having to wait to like level up your character, you can do stupid shit like from the beginning with the right luck. And it's a blast, dude. There's nothing more I can say about it. It's a fun fucking game, and everyone should be playing Gunfire right now. It's on Game Pass. That's another game that has some like early access jank if you can put up with it. There's a fun game here.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that's really all I've been playing. I haven't really been playing a lot lately. I want to play GunGrave. I downloaded it the other day, but I never played it. It's
Oh
on Game
man,
Pass, so I want to try it.
the shit coming out about that game is they are slaughtering that game, dude.
I heard everyone's complaining that it feels like a PS2 action game. But I'm like, yeah, but those are fun
Yeah.
though. Like, so
Which is what I said. It looks like. I did say like, oh, it looks like it. It looks like it feels like that that Final Fantasy, that Dirge of Cerberus.
yeah,
I was like, it kind of looks like that a little, but
which doesn't always make it a bad thing. Like a lot of the complaints
yeah,
on what was it? There's another game I want to play, Evil West or Hard West. What is it? Was it Evil West?
Evo West. Yeah,
Yeah, with the Danny Trejo like trailer.
yeah,
A lot of the reviews are saying it feels like a PS2 action game. I'm like, and that's a bad thing? Like, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with the game just being fun? Like, it
yeah,
doesn't need to tell like a grand story. It doesn't have to have like the most like the most like direct world building. It just needs to be a fun game. Like, what's wrong with just having a game be fun? And I'm probably gonna try Gungrave like later today, depending on how I'm feeling. But I'll keep you guys updated next time we do the show. Which I don't know if anyone's been paying attention, but I'm having my son is going to be born this Monday, so I'll probably be out of the podcast for a couple weeks.
yeah.
But yeah, I'll still come in to say hi. I'll still, if you're streaming, I'll still come in and stream with, I'll watch you or talk with you. But yeah, this is going to be the last podcast I'm in for a little while. I'm not leaving completely. I still want to do the show, but I will be taking a break for a little bit to be here with my son. Um, let's get into some gaming news. Nothing happened this week, so there's really no news. Just some cool shit we want to talk about, some discussion topics that we want to bring up.
Yeah.
First off, Wasabi put up a poll on YouTube asking people's game of the year, and got 9 votes.
Yeah, pretty interesting. Now, I didn't sway this at all. You're gonna look at this and you're gonna be like, oh, of course, fucking, you know, the game you like is the one that's getting all the votes. But I'm surprised that I'm actually surprised because yeah, Tunic is by far you guys are voting correctly, which is surprising because yeah, I don't know. I mean, we only got 9 votes, but I think that's a okay amount of
I just voted now, so now it's 10. But yeah,
okay. What did you put in
it's a
there?
small sample size. Yeah, but Tunic still leading, like head and shoulders of everybody else. And I'm hoping, Tunic is going to get some recognition at the Game of the Year awards this year. Um, I doubt it because God of War is just kind of taking away everyone's spotlight. But
Yeah.
we'll see, man.
Look, it doesn't
We'll
need
see,
any
man.
awards. All right, it's a phenomenal game,
Yeah,
and you should just play it. That's all I gotta say. It's on Game Pass. It's on Switch. It's on PS4, 5, whatever. It's on everything. So if you've not played Tunic, it's seriously the best game of the year.
yeah.
So you guys are fucking up if you haven't played it.
I've been meaning to play it forever. It's on my list, dude.
Um, but yeah, I will say like for the sake of this poll, I'm just surprised that Tunic is doing that well because it seemed like no one's fucking supporting Tunic like that. But I don't know. I guess
I see Tunic get talked about a lot by like independent game reviewers. I don't see like IGN or any of them talking about Tunic, but I see a lot of like YouTubers that I follow talking about Tunic.
yeah,
So I think that's where it's finding its footing, not with like the commercial like publications, but the actual like the players, I think is where it's getting its attention.
Yeah.
Was that going to translate to Game of the Year awards? I don't know, but we'll see. I hope it does. The game definitely deserves the attention. What I've been seeing, you play it, other people play it, it looks good. Like it looks like a fun game. That's the kind of game that I would love. I just haven't had time to like sit down and
Yeah.
actually play it.
The thing is, with that game, you look at it and you think, oh, okay, it's like a Zelda, but it's like with some Dark Souls in it. That's what
Yeah,
you
but it's
see when
way
you
more
look
than
at
that.
it.
Yeah.
But when you play it, you're like, oh shit, this is not. This is something else. Yeah, it's like
Yeah, it's
what
something
it's
special. It's something really
yeah,
special.
yeah. And that's what that's what did it for me. Because I only played it because it looked like a Zelda. And I'm the biggest Zelda guy on the planet. So I was like, oh,
Yeah.
yeah, great. A new Zelda. This is fantastic. But then you play it and you're like, oh, shit. This is more than you thought it was. Yeah, it's phenomenal.
Yeah. And I want to play it. It's on Game Pass, so I just got to sit down and fucking play it already.
Yeah. And then, like I said, once you play it, you're going to be like, I've been sitting here for 6 hours. I gotta feed my kid. Shit like that. Like you're gonna like neglect shit.
I hope it's that good. I don't know. It's on my list. Like I'm going on leave with the kid coming. I'm going on leave. My work has like a 4-week paternity leave,
Yeah,
so I'm gonna be off. Granted, I'll be taking care of a baby, so I'm not gonna like. It's not a vacation, but in between, sleeping schedule and stuff, I'll have time to like play some games.
yeah.
And I think I might give Tunic a try.
Get on Switch. It's a good Switch game.
Yeah, it would be a great Switch game, and that I will pick it up and play it on Switch probably throughout this like leave. Um, yeah, I really hope Tunic gets some good attention because I feel like it's a game I would like. Even though I never played it, it feels like a game I would like, and I just gotta fucking buckle down and play it already. Um, Now you said you were doing some digging and you discovered a composer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Tim Follin. Who
So
is that?
this is interesting. So I don't know. The other day I was just like, let me just play some like game music. So I went on YouTube and just was like, just found some people make playlists of just random game music. And I was like, let me just throw one of these on and just chill out. And what the Silver Surfer for the NES came up, and I was like, oh, that's the one that like the AVGN shit on. This game fucking sucks. Uh, but then you hear the fucking music, dude, and you're like, what the fuck is this? This soundtrack
Yeah,
slaps. And it sounds like modern as fuck too. It sounds like some like Danny Baranowski or like it sounds like modern. So you hear it and you're like, this is incredible. Uh, like listen to that.
it's good as fuck.
Like it's got a level of complexity when you hear it. You're like, this is coming out of an NES because I don't remember hearing like any. There's like no other game I can name, or like there's a few others, but like that's like super complex for an NES. Like there's not a lot of NES games doing that kind of.
Just say like Capcom can squeeze some shit out of the NES.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, like Mega Man type shit. But
yeah,
even that, like, I don't know. Even that, you don't. It doesn't feel like that gets um like I'm talking about this guy has like synthy stuff. He's got like synths and bass lines and then like a bunch of like percussion. Like there's layers to this that I don't remember getting out of like a
NES Township.
yeah, or even like a Mega Man. Like Mega Man has dope music, or like even like a Metroid, like they have like dope music, but I don't remember them having layers like that. But maybe they did, but like so you look up who like made this and Tim Follin Tim Follin is the guy's name. Also, his brother Jeff Follin, but I think Tim gets most of the credit. And then you realize this guy was like 17, 18, 19 years old, making a bunch of like NES music for like, but no one knows him because he only made music for like shitty games.
Yeah.
So like no one fucking knows him. And it's like it's such a bummer. So I think he like made all this music for all these shitty games, and he just like just rage quit and just gave up. But like it's all like dope shit. It's all dope shit.
That's such a bummer. Imagine making some like fucking great tracks, and it's for like games nobody liked.
Yeah.
It's a no fault of your own. Nobody liked these games.
Or like the game is so fucking hard that no one could even hear your music because they couldn't get far enough into the game. Because he did Silver Surfer, which is notoriously one of the hardest games with NES. Solstice, which I hear is an extremely difficult game. He did Ghouls and Ghosts, which is fucking.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That dude is like, he can't catch a fucking break. Jesus.
Yeah. So, I linked the playlist in the show notes, which we attach the show notes to every episode. We attach the show notes so you can go through and get the links to everything we talk about. But yeah, just go through this playlist on YouTube and just like listen to his shit because it's like his stuff is like dope as fuck, man. Sounds super modern. It wouldn't be out of place out of like a Super Meat Boy or something.
Check it out then for sure. I heard a couple tracks from it when you put the link in.
Yeah.
And I was interested, so I'll check it out for sure.
And it's the fact that he was like so young when he was like making this stuff. It's like I don't know how he got into the industry. It would be incredible to like find out what this guy is doing now. And
Have you done any Googling on him? Like,
no, I didn't look into him at all or try to see. But like he was like super incredible back then. Like he could have only improved if he was still going at it, you know? So yeah. That was just a little hole that I got into. So
he did the music for the 2006 Lemmings game on PS2 and PS3 and PSP.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
I didn't know either. I'm looking at his like game credits here, and he's done quite a few games. Like nothing like super big that would have put him on the map, which is like a huge bummer.
Yeah, like I would imagine like what I would hope is that he would like get into doing, you know, one of those like he would get into something modern, but you know, games that are made to invoke the past, like a Shovel Knight or something. Like that's what this shit sounds like. It sounds like it's out of Shovel Knight, but this shit was like 30 years ago. So
yeah, that's really cool. Like I gotta check him out now. I'm gonna look up some of his shit later.
Yeah.
Something I want to talk about, and I've been wanting to talk about this guy for a little while because I just saw one of his videos the other day. He's a newer YouTuber. He's only got about 2 videos up on his channel right now. Okay, he's got a review on this game called House, which is apparently inspired by like another horror movie called House, and he's got a review on Fate that he did about 2 months ago. I haven't seen his Fate review, but his House review got randomly recommended to me on YouTube, and I checked it out. This is a good video. This is a really, really fucking good video. Like the level of competency here with the audio mixing, the editing, and just getting me like interested in the game. This dude does a great job of it. And I actually commented on it. Like I said, YouTube recommended a video from a YouTuber I've never heard of, covering a game I never heard of, inspired by a movie I've never watched or showed any interest in. And I'm glad the algorithm brought me to you because this video is awesome. And he commented. He's small enough that he comments on every comment, so it'd be nice. But yeah, he does a great job on this video. The game, it's interesting. It's like a point-and-click adventure game almost. but it's on a time system, so you have to do certain things before the time's up, and you can die. You can have your family die. And once you die, you got to start over and do it again. I don't want to spoil too much of it because it's super unique, and it's a very unique, underrated game. I want to check out now that he's talked about it. And apparently, it was inspired by a horror movie also called House that was made in Japan like forever ago. That's all. That's also a really unique, fucking bonkers, out of this world or horror movie. But this dude did a great video here that I really, really wanted to highlight. Um, Check him out. Show him some love. He's only got about 5,000 subscribers. Actually, I think less than that. I think the view count. He has got 200 subscribers. His video is only 5,000 views, which like better performing than most of our recent videos. So I'm not gonna shit on him, but he does good shit, and I wanted to highlight this guy because I'm hoping like he gets a good YouTube career after this. Because I want to see more like voices on YouTube. I'm sick of like listening to the same like 6 people talk about games all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, he does good shit.
This looks dope. I have to watch this.
Yeah, check it out, dude. It's a good video. Like it's legit like a really, really good video. And I'm really like he got me to want to check out the game, so check him out. Like he's got good shit. I haven't seen this video on Fate yet, but Fate is a game I played way back in the day. I will argue that Fate was like the game that got me into like Diablo style ARPGs. I tried to replay Fate recently and it sucks. So it's not a great game. It's definitely baby's first Diablo, and it's not great. So skip Fate. But I want to watch his video on Fate later. But yeah, he's good. His the YouTuber, I didn't even give his fucking name, dude. He's called I Am the Snuggler. And he's good. He's only got the 2 videos out right now, but his videos are pretty solid so far. So check him out. I'm hoping like we get a fresh new voice for YouTube after this. Um and some quickies, Callisto Protocol locked a couple death animations and a difficulty mode behind an $80 season pass. Those of you who don't know, there is a season pass for Callisto Protocol that gives you some more content once that comes out. But what's really frustrating is that it's locking a difficulty mode and death animations behind it. So you need to buy that season pass to even see that stuff, which super scummy. I'm not gonna lie. Like I don't know how to justify that. That just seems like if the difficulty mode's already done, the animations are done, why hide them? Money. That's why. I don't know why I have to ask that question, but
Yeah. But like also death animations, like I don't understand. It's like one of those like you ever play one of those hentai games?
oh yeah.
Or it's like
The uncensored mode is like hidden behind like a paywall. Yeah.
well no, it's like no. What I'm getting at is like okay, so this is a video game where like you don't like you're not supposed to die. So I don't know how more death animations is a selling point unless it's like a hentai game where when you die you get the scene of your character getting taken advantage of because you died. And like that's when I think of oh yeah here's more death animations, it's more like oh you died to this enemy or here's the animation of enemy fucking you. Is that
I
that's
see what the point you're trying to make, and like to an extent, like with horror games, that's kind of what it is. Um, yeah, with horror games, that's kind of what it is because like I don't know if you remember Resident Evil, but like when you die, like the game has like some very like gruesome, like detailed like animations for your characters dying before you see the game over screen.
yeah
And Dead Space did it. There's some really crazy ways to die. Like there's this creature that like takes over people, and if you die to it, it like rips your head off, sticks itself on your head, and you walk around for like a minute before you like die. before the game gives you the game over. So there's some pretty cool like
Okay.
animations there. So like little things like that, like they're cool to see. Like when you die, it's like, oh, I fucking died, but that's cool. So that's a cool way to kill me. So I'll put up with it. So it's like an integral part of like I think most like horror games is those death animations, like a really gruesome way to get yourself killed.
Okay.
But to hide it behind a paywall, that's fucking scummy as shit, dude. Like that's
Yeah.
there's no reason to be doing that. That's scummy. That's all
There's
I could say.
13. There's 13 of them that are in the season pass here. Now I think
That's
you might be able to just get they say it's in the Contagion bundle, so maybe you can just get that bundle separately, but it's still you'd have to like pay for it no matter how much
the
it
fact that
is.
I'm paying extra money for animations that are already done, like piss me off. Like
Yeah.
it would
Eh,
make sense if it's like season pass content, like, oh, here's some new enemies that can kill you in different ways. So there's specific animations to them. That makes sense. But like, even then, like if the enemies are already done, just put them in the fucking game. Like don't lock them behind a paywall.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't find a way to justify this. There's like no way I can see to justify it. This is just scummy.
And then the difficulty mode is like the ultimate difficulty mode, and that's that from what I understand, that was a mode that was just default in the original like Dead Space games that they made. That they're now, I guess, pulling out and selling back to you. So
Which is like super scummy. Like, man, what the fuck? Like, I love gaming, but I see shit like this and I'm like, this is so annoying. I don't want to have to deal with that.
yeah,
Man, fuck that. That's so stupid. But yeah, it's there's no way to justify it. Just that's a shitty thing to be happening that shouldn't be happening. And I could see like people being upset for it because it shouldn't exist, honestly. There's no reason to charge me money for like these extra animations.
yeah. Now, if they were fuck animations, I might consider. But if you're saying it's not like that, then I don't know.
There's no reason to charge me more money for it. But yeah, that's it's super scummy, like what they're doing. And I get it, you know, you got to make money, you know, you got to eat, whatever. But there's got to be like less scummy ways to do it, man. How about just make a good game that sells well? But whatever. Maybe that's just too much to ask for. I don't know. This bummed me out. Like, and I was super interested in Callisto Protocol too, but now like I'm kind of deflated on it a little bit after
Oh,
hearing
I didn't
about
even
this.
see this, but there's also death and enemy death animations in a separate
Oh, what?
bundle. In a separate bundle.
That is
So
so scummy.
you have to get, if they put them out separately, you'd have to get both bundles to get all the animations.
I'm hoping somebody just gets all those animations together, compiles them on YouTube just to spite them.
Yeah. Yeah. But see, that's the thing. And if you get all of this and you get the difficulty mode, it's permadeath. So you wouldn't even want to die. You wouldn't even want to.
Oh yeah, like even if you like, oh god, why even like bother selling it separate then? It's so scummy, dude. Fuck this.
Yeah.
Oh, that
Yeah.
pisses me off, dude.
Um. So yeah, that game's coming out. Um. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see if the game is good first. So that would be interesting. It's got de nouveau.
Oh
So
yeah, that's another thing people are complaining about,
yeah.
which is
Yep.
like super scummy too. Like, this game is like doing everything wrong, man. Like, it's got the nouveau, it's got like unnecessary content locked behind DLC. Like, what has this game done right yet? I'm a little upset now. I don't want to talk about this anymore. I'm bummed out.
Yeah.
Oh, we got some releases. Soccer Story is releasing November 29th for PC, Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Series X. Gundam Evolution is dropping November 30th for PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Series X. That's that Overwatch clone, right? That we're kind of shitting on a little bit.
Yeah, it's been out on PC. I wasn't shitting on it. It looks dope. Oh, it's getting mixed reviews on Steam though. But I mean, it does look dope. It's free to play. I have been wanting to check it out, but I haven't had a chance yet.
I mean, we can check it out now that it's like it's out. You said it's free to play, really?
Yeah, it's free to play, so you could just like load it up and do it.
It's not bad. I might check it out later then. I'm feeling kind of sick, so I think I'll like sit it out for now. If I'm feeling
Yeah.
better later, I'll hit you up. We can play something.
All right.
But yeah, so that's out. So go check that out. Um, that's coming out November 30th, I should say. Front Mission First Remake's coming out on Switch. Outbound Ghost, PS4, PS5. Sort of the Vagrant, Switch, PS4, and Xbox One. I never heard of this. What is this game? Hold on.
So that game's been out for a while on PC. It was just called The Vagrant. And it's like $3 on PC.
It
Like that's
looks like
just
a
like
Vanillaware game,
yeah, it's made to look like a Vanillaware. So
but
I
like
have this
stiffer
game.
animations.
Yeah, I have this game. Played it a little bit. It's okay.
It's okay.
Well, it's like $3, so I don't know. I only played it a little bit, but
Yeah, I mean it's kind of hard to be mad at like a $3, $4 game. Like,
yeah. And I was curious to see if this was the same game that's now coming out on console, and I think it is. At least the description is the same on the PlayStation Store as it is on the Steam page. So I was like, okay, this must be the same game. I don't know why they changed the title and shit, but I I, I think it's the same game. So
yeah,
there's no
weird thing to just like change the title like that.
there's no other information on the page. There's no trailer or anything. There's no screenshots on the PlayStation Store page. So I'm like, what's why? Yeah,
Like, why is
but
it like different? Yeah, no,
yeah,
I hear
yeah.
you.
But yeah, from what I can tell, it's the same game. So, but if they change the price, that would be I guess one reason. I don't know if they try to get more out of people for this, but it's $3
Yeah.
on Steam, and it's not even on sale. That's just its price, $4.
How much is it on a console? Do you know?
They don't have any information.
Oh,
There's
that's not
no
good.
information. There's only a description on the PlayStation Store. I didn't check the other stores, but PSN, it's like they don't even have a release date on the PSN. It's just like coming soon. And you're like, what the fuck is wrong?
Ooh, that's ooh, that's concerning. Watch this be like, even if it's like a $20 game, it's gonna be like it's like $4 ever on Steam
Yeah,
though.
yeah,
Which coming out on Switch is probably gonna be like a $20 game, honestly.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's concerning. And we'll see when it comes out, but I doubt it's gonna be like less than $20. I'm calling it now. Oof, that is rough, dude. And we'll see. Hopefully it'll still be cheap, but we'll see what happens. Um, Warhammer 40K Darktide is releasing on PC. That's the
Yeah,
like the other Warhammer Vermintide, right?
yeah. It's the 40K version of Vermintide.
So
Uh,
I'm not a Warhammer buff, but there's like two different types of Warhammer. There's like the dark fantasy medieval Warhammer. That's what Vermintide set in. And there's like the 40K like Space Marine Warhammer. That's what 40K is in,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
All right, cool.
And yeah, I wanna check this out. It looks dope.
It does look pretty dope. Like it looks pretty good actually.
And it'll be
I
on
never
Game
played
Pass.
Vermintide though. Was Vermintide any good?
Vermintide was cool. Vermintide was cool. This thing already has reviews on Steam.
Already?
It's mostly positive, seventy-seven
Already? Like
percent.
just early review copies or something?
I guess the beta test is out, even though it's coming out in less than a week. So I guess that's what people are playing. There are
Oh well.
50,000 playing now.
Jesus, just on the beta? Okay. Well, beta,
Yeah.
quote unquote.
Good game, bad performance. Game crashes a lot. Okay.
Which, if it's supposed to be a beta, like, I get
Yeah.
it. But if it's coming out in like a couple days, like, what point does it stop becoming a beta and just become a demo? Like, let's be honest here. Whatever. I don't know, it looks good. I might check it out later then. I don't know. Well, Vermintide was like free on Steam a while back, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
I
might.
downloaded that. Maybe we could try that out
Yeah.
if it's
Yeah.
worth
I've
playing.
played Vermintide. Um, it's pretty dope. It's pretty
Yeah,
dope.
I'll check it out then. I'll check it out for sure then. What else we got? We got December 1st, we got Inscription coming out on Switch, Outbound Ghost coming out on Switch, Romancing Saga, Minstrel Song Remastered coming out on PC, Switch, PS4, PS5, and mobile. Walking Dead, Saints and Sinners, Chapter 2, Retribution. What is this?
I do believe this is a VR game for like set in a Walking Dead universe.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm not interested then.
Yeah.
Um,
It's the second
have
one.
you,
They've had one of these already. From what I've heard, it's pretty good. It does the thing you want out of a VR game, which is kind of just gives you total freedom to just
it's good. Yeah,
fuck with shit. So yeah,
which is good. That's really good. I like hearing that. I don't have a VR though, so
yeah,
I thought about getting a VR for a while, but then I look back and I'm like, the only game I'm really gonna play on it is gonna be like that Resident Evil 4 VR, and like that's it. I'm not gonna play anything else. Um,
Minecraft is surprisingly good in VR. Like Minecraft is
yeah,
still the best game I played in VR.
yeah, really? Okay.
Yeah, yeah, it's surprisingly good. Even like unofficially, it's like not even official, but the whatever mods that made that happen were like incredible. Hamtaro says this is one of the best VR games out there, besides Half Life Alex.
Being Dead, really? Okay. I'll have to check it out. Half Life Alex is another one I would like love to play, just because I'm
Yeah,
like a slut for Half Life.
I'm hoping that comes to PSVR at some point. You would think that that would happen. That it's kind of a no brainer, but
Well, Valve doesn't have to make games anymore, so there's no incentive to like do it.
yeah, they don't have to. But I mean, just to spread it to more people, you know,
Yeah, I agree. I would
they
love to
should.
see it come to PlayStation. But we'll see. I just want more Half Life shit, dude. I love Half Life. I just want more Half Life shit.
I never got into Half Life, even though I've tried playing it multiple times.
Half Life
Maybe,
2 is still like one of my favorite games, dude.
yeah,
Yeah. I played Half Life like a couple years after the Orange Box came out. Like I played Half Life 2. It was my first Half Life game and I fell in love with it.
yeah. I remember playing Half Life, the original Half Life. I played it like back in the days when, you know, when I first became a PC gamer,
Yeah.
and it was dope. I just think at the time it. I didn't understand why it was so important at the time, because I was like coming from like the Golden Eyes and the I don't even know if I like in the Halos. I played those first, and then I went back to like Half Life. So I think I
Yeah.
didn't understand why it was so important.
So I got into it on Xbox 360. Again, on the Orange Box, like about a couple years after the Orange Box came out. And I fell in love with it. I loved it. I was like, this game's fucking incredible. And what I love about it is that it's told me the story without like interrupting the gameplay. Like from an early age, like I realized like how important that is. Like I can have the story like actually in the game.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I fucking loved it. Like I want
yeah.
to see more Half-Life stuff. I am one of those people asking for Half-Life 3 that we're never gonna get it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
very
See,
quickly became a Half-Life fan
yeah,
after
see.
that.
At the time when I played it, I didn't understand that that's what the game was doing. I didn't like. I was like, as a person who was not a story guy, I wasn't like standing around listening to people talk to me as I was running around. I was just running the fuck around and smacking shit with the fucking crowbar. I was like, yeah, this is great.
And not immediately, I recognized it immediately.
Yeah.
I loved what the game was doing. I loved how it was trying to like get me like invested in it without like having to sit me down and tell me a story. And I loved that the fact that people actually looked at me when they were talking to me. Like, is it? It seems like archaic now because like most games do that, but at the time, like I've never had a game like blend the story and the gameplay so seamlessly. You know, like when you
What's the
play the
thing?
game,
Most games don't do that even today.
yeah, yeah,
You know, they very separate the like cutscene segments from the gameplay segments. And that's why, the thing about God of War is that it's a movie. You're just watching a movie, and then occasionally within the movie they'll be like, "Oh, mash the fucking square button."
yeah. But with
Like,
this, there's no cutscenes, at least not in the traditional sense. Like the game's going on the whole time,
yeah, yeah.
and that's what I loved about it. Like that game taught me like how great games actually could be, and we never got a game like it since, and it bums me out. But yeah, what were we talking about? Right, Half-Life VR. Oh man, I fucking love Half-Life. I might replay Half-Life now.
I
Um,
got Black Mesa with the
I
intention
got
of
it
going
too.
through it. Yeah,
Yeah, same here. My brother-in-law got it for me for Christmas forever ago. And me and to sit down and play it. I think I'll just download it, fucking play it now. Like
yeah.
that I got the time. December 2nd, we got the Callisto Protocol releasing on PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Series X. Midnight Suns is also coming out that day for everything but last gen. So
Yeah, which is
sorry,
interesting.
PS4 owners.
I'm
Yeah, it's
curious
super
to
interesting.
see how it takes advantage of uh its next genness.
I don't think it's really have to take advantage of. It's a strategy like an XCOM,
Exactly,
but
but how do they justify not releasing on previous gen?
probably a cost thing. Like I can't imagine like
Okay, okay.
developing it to run on older systems. Like was is going to be worth it.
The game looks dope. As a person who's not into turn-based tactics, it does look like it's pretty good.
Yeah, it
So
looks good. Like I'm not a big like turn-based like tactics fan either, but this game looks really good.
it
And
is
as
it
someone
is
who
fire
does have,
access.
yeah, it's the XCOM guys, which they make some
Yeah,
good games. Like if you're not a strategy game guy, like XCOM will be fun for you, even if you're not a strategy guy. Like,
yeah.
and
It's
I
difficult
want to
though.
see this game come out. Yeah, it's difficult as
This
fuck,
is
but I want to
yeah.
see what this comes out to. I want to see this come out because like as a Marvel fan, like a passing Marvel fan, and this looks like fun. Like it looks cool what they're doing with the characters, like the character designs. And Midnight Suns, they're kind of weird. You know, they're like the weirder side of Marvel, so I want to see more of that. But yeah, we'll see, man, when it comes out. Like I wonder what the general public is going to think about this. Because on one hand, it's Marvel, you know, which is like a very popular brand right now, but it's also like a strategy game, which is not a very popular type of game.
Yeah.
So
But also, I think it has like whatever story. Like they invented a character just for this, and from what I understand, it's melded within the universe. Uh, like the lore. I don't know. I'm assuming it like whatever they're doing here is like canonical type
if they're
shit.
making a character, I doubt it, but we'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see what they do with it. Like, it'll be cool to see. Like, I really want to check it out. So we'll see when it does drop, like, what the general public thinks of it. I kind of want to buy it. Is that weird? I kind of want to buy it. Like, it looks good, actually.
No,
Like, a
it
really
looks
good
it looks
game.
good. That's a
Yeah,
sixty
it
dollar
looks
game
really good.
though.
Yeah.
You
So
can get it
maybe I'll
for
check it out.
50 on Green Man.
Yeah, maybe I'll check it out. We'll see how I feel. And then we got Need for Speed Unbound, which also looks fucking excellent. Like,
Yeah. I'm not in love with the art style. I will say that.
yeah,
Well, mostly like the character designs. I like it for like the world, but not so much the characters.
What, Need for Speed?
Yeah, I don't like the way
Yeah,
the
the character
characters look.
designs are kind of low poly, which is interesting because the rest of the game is so like stylized.
Yeah,
Like the moment to moment gameplay is like it merges this like comic book aesthetic with like realistic lighting and textures, like really, really well. And the characters come up and it looks like someone just slapped a filter over some like low poly models, which
yeah.
is I don't want to shit on it too hard because it actually looks pretty cool. Like I don't want to shit on it that hard because this
Um,
actually looks pretty dope. Like I want to play it.
it's a Criterion game, which they are they were the Burnout guys. Not so much. I don't think there's much people left from that team because those guys left. And they made 3 fields, which they're working on a different game. So, but what's left of Criterion is working on this. So, and those guys know how to make a racing game. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
I'm
let's see when they
curious
put this
about
out.
this. Yeah.
The soundtrack alone is like pretty good too. Like
Soundtrack's dope. We mentioned it last week, but they put that
yeah.
soundtrack on Spotify and it's dope. Oh, this is a $70 game.
Oh, I am like less excited for that.
I scroll down. This game is $70 just for the base game.
Yeah, I am like a lot less excited for that now.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good to
Well,
know.
that sucks.
Well,
Yeah,
we'll
that's a
see.
bummer.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with that. But that's yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, that's gonna do it for the show, everybody. Thank you everyone for coming in, saying hi to us. Like I said, I'm gonna be taking a break from the podcast for a couple weeks due to the birth of my son. I think everybody understands.
Yeah. Please
I will
understand.
be back. Yeah, I will be back later. I'll still come in, say hi. I'll still chat with everybody in the Discord. So don't stop talking, man. Like I'll still come in and say hi to everybody once in a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, tell people where they can find us.
Guys, you can go to Gameoverse.com, Gameoverse.com/Twitch, Gameoverse.com/YouTube, Gameoverse.com/Discord. Jump up in that Discord. Chat with us, guys. Having pretty interesting discussions in there about about random stuff, but we try to keep it fresh. So
Yeah.
jump in there, talk to us.
Yeah, we're cool. We don't bite. We don't say racial slurs.
Yeah.
So come say hi.
I might play something after this. I might stream something after this. I don't know. I might load up God of War just so I can get through it, but just know I'm not enthused about it.
Pokemon Infinite Fusion.
Pokemon, yeah, maybe Infinite Fusion. I've got that on my GPD though. I've got that on the handheld. Yeah.
How is the GPD? Like
it's fantastic.
Still fun?
It's
still
great.
Fun?
Yeah. It's a great what do you call it? It's a great Path of Exile. Path of Exile plays amazingly well in this thing. I've been playing a lot of Path of Exile on it. It's great. So
ooh, I want to pick one up now.
Yeah. It's great. They've got another one coming out that's like a PSP. It's more of a straight up handheld, and it's like slides out. A little keyboard slides out, and then you can slide it back in, and it's just got controls on it. And it's got the same internals. So it's got the same power as the full thing, but it's like a Vita almost, which is really cool. So, and that one's a little cheaper. That one's like $700 at the base. So, but
I might check that out then.
Yeah. But yeah, that's gonna do it, guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks for chatting.
Everybody be cool, be safe, be excellent to each other. And yeah, we'll see you guys when we see you. Bye.